What are you messing with? Don't do that yet, mate. Let me do some of that stuff. I don't want you rounding anything. Rab jab.
I get tools.
Hi guys, and welcome back. Don't be concerned about Gary's moustache. This engine is so good. Do you know what, right? If any of the watchers are genuinely looking for a 125 for about £1,000 and you want, let us know, because it honestly, I won't release bikes that I'm not happy with, but I know this engine has been so good the whole time. I really feel like people will be okay with it. Step one today is that Gary needs to drive this, because Rab Jab felt it, I felt it. Gary needs to feel what's going on, because everyone who tries something might have a different input. Now yesterday I greased all the bearings and retorqued them, and I tried different torque settings to see if that made a difference, to the point where it was too loose. I nipped it back up again last night, but it was too loose in the end because it was notching at the top, and it did the same thing. Tires I don't think will cause the same feeling. I really don't think, but we'll change them. My guess is shocks. My guess is we're going to be switching shocks today, but let's get Gary on it to test it. That's why I'm warming it up. And honestly, such a good engine. I want someone who's learning. I want someone who needs a good bike to have this, really, ideally. Yeah. So let's get Gary on it. He's gonna have a run. We'll get his feedback afterwards.
I think definitely the tires cheap.
Tires, no, definitely tires are good.
Gary and Rab Jab say the same thing, which is really interesting. They say it feels like one side of the bike, this shock, for example. In fact, you're both saying it's this shock. Isn't right. Rab Jab was saying the same thing yesterday. It's something to do with the right. I think you're probably spot on, both of you. I really thought headstock up here, which is why I greased it all yesterday. Now see, they look spot on to me.
No. If you can feel it, the right side is being a little bit funny.
You're right.
You see?
You're right. It's kind of
it does a movement around.
jibing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't kill them. I need to sell them. They're not bent though. They're not, because they haven't leaked. Do you know what they need? They need oil, proper right amount of oil. Because we rebuilt them, but they probably need a slightly thicker oil.
Yeah, when I drive it.
Is it leaking? No, it's not. Oh, do you know what, Gary? You know what I just thought of? We haven't checked the forks on the other one. Oh yes, look, you're right. Not a lot, not enough. But saying that, over time, if the oil is less on this, all right. We haven't checked the forks on the other one. I didn't even think. I really hope it has a rear stand, guys. It doesn't have a rear stand. Oh, that's such a pain. It doesn't have a rear stand. Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, alright, they're good, Gary. Alright, so the task is simple. Let's pull this out, let's get them next to each other. I'll put the rear stand under this one, plus a jack under the engine, so we'll have it stood up. You've got the rear stand on that, plus a jack under your engine. Front wheels come off. Both shocks, you undo this here, and we'll just slide them down. We'll switch them straight over. But I do want the other shocks on this bike. Only because, so I can still wheel it around.
Shoot the whole engine.
Yeah, because I'm not sure yet if I'm going to rebuild this engine. I'm probably not.
You can sell that tank for what? Money?
I think it's going to be a parts bike. A bit sad, really.
Let's jack it up.
Alright, let's do this. I've been doing these longer videos and they're harder to edit. Did one of you drop the tank last week? Look.
I think it was like that.
Was it?
I'm not sure, but
So we replace that.
No, this tank's got nips and all.
Is that a fuel injection or carb that bike?
No, they're both carbs. I was going to rebuild this, but it's not worth it.
Did you get money for the tyres?
Yeah. I hate stripping bikes though. I just, there's something about it, you know, I just...
yeah,
Yeah,
like
to do what
calipers
you
and
do.
stuff, you're gonna be able to sell it. You see, you couldn't find any parts for this.
There's not much you'll be able to sell. The shocks I can sell, the wheels. I mean, even the wheels though.
The previous
Yeah.
owner, Gary, she tried to sell for £1,200 on the back. What?
But
a
even
joke,
the
man.
wheels, it's hard. You can't post them. Too heavy. So it becomes a big...
They need to come and collect it.
Yeah, and they don't do that. People don't do that. The calipers will sell.
What happened to them guys who like pick up
Shocks,
your old
probably.
parts, Charlie?
Shocks, they're newer shocks than yours actually. The black's quite nice. The red looks nice on yours though. The paneling and the thing will sell well. That will sell well. All of that will get me back most of the money. The levers I can use on something else or sell. It doesn't matter. But this was not ever a running bike. She says her son was using this bike and it broke down. No way. There's
That sounds
no
fucked
way
up.
this bike was being ridden on the road. Look, you look at everything. Look at the connections for the brake light switch. There's
My
no.
bike
there's-
was off-road for like half a year. You never
no,
know.
it was in a garage. I saw it. She pulled it out of a garage. Yeah, there's no way. They built this as a project and tried to fix it, and they couldn't. It was too much work. It's too much work for me. There's no way. I just hate bullshitty stories. I don't mind honesty. I know nothing about this bike. I bought it last week. I'm selling it for £1. But I don't like all of that bullshit. This was happening. That was happening. This was not being ridden, wasn't it? That's my rant over. Alright, so we'll get the rear. So put down the rear stand, Rajab. I'll put this on a rear stand. And then we'll... Yes, we'll put jacks or axle stands under the front.
The engine's quite good on this bike. When I ride it,
I'm surprised, you know.
it was running out, gone up and down on 30. They just this bit. I hated it. Also trying to get shit to the wrong side. But when I was riding it, I said, what the hell, why is it on neutral on the top one? I was like, I got a bit stuck.
It feels very smooth as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's smooth, yeah. This is the short what's this sort of thing out?
What are you messing with? Don't do that yet, mate. Let me do some of that stuff. I don't want you rounding anything, Rajab.
I get tools.
The old stand wasn't that strong, so I switched it.
And then asked you to deliver them for them.
Well, actually, I spent 2 hours messing around with. Alright, let's see. Oh, it's this one, the Carusians. Snapping's fine because at least we can get it out then. No, it's a 4.
Smaller.
Yeah. What is that? We've got the spare one over there, but we need to move it more before we round it. But we need to. You had movement there, I saw it.
Again?
Yeah.
I feel like it.
Yeah, it's spinning. Alright, hang on a minute, let me get some WD in there. At least because we can save it. Alright. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, scary.
What shed? Boxer.
Right, come up a couple of turns.
Where does the next
Go back.
Yeah, come up a couple of turns. That's it. Now go back. Now you put more WD in. That's good. There you go. Step 2 is calipers off, mudguards off, ready for the front wheels to be removed. So the more we work with this bike, the more we realise it can't be saved. That every nut and bolt is seized or snapped. It's not savable, which is great. That for me, that it takes away any thoughts of trying to save it, which I have to do. So I'm going to take a lot of the parts off today, the ones that I can, and store them as safely as I can. All brakes and stuff will come off, and over here we're a bit more careful with this one. Oh, bless you. So caliper off next. I'll do the same on this side. Any parts I get, a bit of a clean. I like this white finger guard. People have seen me use that before. It's not overly strong. I just like the tiny bit of acidic content. I think is a bit helpful. It's probably not doing much, if we're being fair.
You haven't done this one?
One. I'm trying not to do loads of random filming, guys, but as in leaving it sit for minutes at a time. So these are the other shocks on this bike now. So we'll know quite quickly if this bike feels better. I'm really debating what I do with that bike, but I think it needs to be a rolling bike, and then I'll just take bits off around it, CDIs, horns, all of that stuff, front headlights around it, looms, and I'll leave it as a rolling frame for now. I'm not going to rebuild that bike at any point though. It's gonna be scrapped. Well, I'm gonna sell parts and then it's gonna be scrapped. So yeah, so that's good. So Gary's bike is close actually. It's just final bits and pieces. If you throw on the mud guard and caliper now, Gary, why just make that one safe? I'm not putting on mud guards or anything. I'm just.
Once that all done, then Gary can test it.
I think it should feel normal. Should. Just want to get this a bit higher. That's out there.
That's 600.
I quite enjoy the 125s. I've got to admit. Do you know what? If they're small engines,
Yeah.
you just take them
And
apart.
when you first started, you mostly did the Fraser, I remember the CBRF.
I like small engines that you can just take apart in your hands and.
There's one story here, trying to pull this Triumph TT back, super back, and this one turned up the original Banner Fraser. They wanted that back. They had no log, nothing. They said, "Here's the cash, you take it." Charlie said, "It's up to you, man."
Yeah, they rode all the way to Southend.
And there's more about police right over there.
But at that time, they come all the way from Southend to see a bike. They didn't like the other bike. And they said, "That's a project over there. We like that project." I said, "Take it, sister, take it." I made a couple hundreds on it.
It was 600 TT.
So that was good, really. They got a project. What they shouldn't have done was ridden it home. But what can we do?
I think they don't care. They would drive fast.
What are you talking about? I'm confused.
Say you got married. Say you married an Australian girl, Charlie, and you want to bring her in this country. You have to show 38 grand a year and bring her in this country, get her visa.
Yeah, but why are we buying women? Why don't we
Say you fall in love with a girl in another country.
If you genuinely met someone, yes.
Outside of the UK,
Yes.
now you need to pay 8,700
To do what? To do.
Bring her here.
to bring it here. Because you're going to be like a sponsor for the car.
You have to pay for her NHS, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that's going to be ready for a test drive. Less sense to two.
Maybe something wrong.
We're trying to decide out who tests it first, guys.
If you crash, it's okay.
Consensus is me, because I'm worthless. So take it off the shocks because you need the shocks to settle. Now give him a bounce, Rabja. They look nice. Funny, they look darker now on the bike. It must be the orange.
Could be.
Yeah, what you done to the front brake?
Is the front brake on? Working? You think? It might
You
have.
need to buy it.
Don't
Yeah.
bite.
I know, but yeah, that's because we loosened it. It will eventually. Feels great. All right. Feels great.
Yeah.
There's no drifting right or left.
You want to test it, or are you happy?
We test drive it as well. Come Rabja, you're next.
Feels great.
Yeah?
Great. Lovely.
A little bit with
Just
some
a
kind
bit
of glue. Yeah.
Just clean and a little bit of glue. Are you filming?
Yeah. Better?
Way. Look at that.
Yes, sir.
No, they don't. I know. Someone said that you can make fiberglass ones out of these. It's a bloody good idea. Now I'm unsure if we added these. Oh no, they're just connection blocks. No, because that's the power wire. What's this white one? That's the alarm. Yeah, I think we're missing one power wire. Alright guys, nice day at the garage. I'm so glad that keyway's done. It shows you there. You know what, Rabjab was right there. I probably should have listened to him yesterday when he said it was kind of, felt like it was tipping or pulling. I didn't actually experience that. But Gary come today and said it feels like it's tipping, which makes sense that one of the shocks was weaker than the other, so it had that feeling. And then when you leaned and you tried to go around the corner, it felt horrible. It feels beautiful now. It's such a good bike. I'm actually hoping somebody who we know, either through the channel or in reality, wants it. That's my hope, because I'd quite like to keep an eye on it. It's done 29,000 miles. It's not kilometers, it's miles. And I want to see how far it will go, actually. And I'll help the new owner keep it on the road by putting in new pistons, etc., if needed. Great. What am I doing here? I'm just taking the battery home. It weighs an absolute ton. Look at the size of this thing. I might have to bring up my car. How weighty is it? It's not too bad. I just want to make sure that's charged. It's a good battery. It's always fired this thing up. But I do want to make sure I fully charge it. Otherwise, nice weekend, actually, doing bits and pieces. I'm glad I did the headstock on the keyway as well. It's worth doing. It's very gummed up, the old grease, so it needed doing anyway. Cool. Hopefully next week I'll be attempting to finish or fix the Piaggio. I really don't know how that's going to go. I'm really bothered by what I have to do, which is spend £100 odd on parts, spend half of what it costs to get a second-hand engine, and then attempt to put it back together. I really don't know where I stand here. If I wait a couple more weeks, I can probably just outright buy a second-hand engine. It's probably the right thing to do. I'm still torn. I don't know. The new valves are 100 quid exactly, and then you've got the new cam. The timing adjuster. That's 60 quid or something, with a spring in it, of course. Except I should be able to put a spring in this one and it'd be fine. There's no issue there. I've got springs. I'd rather a tried and tested low mileage engine that I slot in, if I'm being honest. I think I've just talked myself out of a job. I need two. What I will get is the 2 carb rebuild kits for the CB200. That's what I will get, because I will get that. I'll get them rebuilt. And if we're very, very lucky, then we'll have a 2 carbs that are running very well and adjusted well. I want them to include floats and everything else, and gaskets, because the CB200 could be close to being a good old bike. And if needed, I'll sell it if I have to sell it. At the moment, I'm low on funds for different reasons, for personal reasons. I need to sell everything. I need to sell the S-Cargo eventually. I need to sell the CB eventually, or keep the CB and sell the KTM. I don't know. Life's a bit up and down at the moment. Alright, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please always throw up a like, make sure you're subscribed, throw up a comment, even if it's nothing or an emoji or whatever, throw it up. It's all helpful towards the channel.